Starts right now.
The president is set to host top congressional leaders for a second round of debt ceiling talks later today, as the Treasury Secretary warns the country could be weeks away from running out of cash to cover its debts. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with the latest from Washington.
Outside with live cam this morning. It's not too hot, not too cool. It's just right out there. We've got some high clouds. Are there any showers or storms in our vast viewing area? We'll talk to Mike Osterhage in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 16th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a good Monday. Yeah, it's pretty nice when you walk outside this morning. Fairly
pleasant. Mike is here with more on that. Is this a nice trade-off between lower humidity and lower what? I don't
temperature?
know.
Well, I mean, everything, when you say just right, we're just at the normal low temperature right now.
Okay,
so,
well, that's why it seems so perfect.
There you go with that whole Goldilocks thing you had going on there for a while. So we do have a couple of showers around the air. Yeah, it is a fairly pleasant morning. I mean, still a decent amount of humidity out there. And we still have a couple of showers here and there. A few of them are sort of sliding in here from the southeast down there, right around Beeville and B County, and then heading up toward Kennedy, if indeed these do hold together. A couple of little stray sprinkles are going to be buried up closer to town, and then off to the northwest we also have a few more of those showers over there in Kitty County over toward Del Rio, and even a couple of them in portions of the hill country. Not a lot out there. We will still have a chance for some rain around the area today. Temperatures mid and some upper 60s. The humidity, which is still there, but it is down slightly from yesterday. Mid 60s for these dew points. Still, you notice it, but it's not like wet towel kind of humidity when you step outside this morning. We do have a mold on the high side, although it came down significantly from the previous day's reading. A little bit of grass is showing up. And this morning temperature is going to stay pretty steady, right around, again, normal readings. A patch of fog, not seeing too much as of right now, but just, again, be on the lookout for it because we've got so much moisture not only in the atmosphere, but also in the ground. And a couple of sprinkles or even a shower here and there. And then a few showers and a couple of storms later on today. Plenty of clouds like yesterday. Yesterday had it at a 40% chance, 30% shot at some showers or even a couple of thunderstorms. So more folks won't see rain today, but if you do, still could have a pretty decent downpour. Faucet gets turned off the next couple of days. Temperatures start to go up. How hot we going to be getting before we see the weekend, and another chance of rain by the weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. There are a lot of questions after a man's body was found in a creek. Police say that discovery was made yesterday afternoon behind a gas station on West Avenue near Jackson Keller on the city's north side. And right now, officers are not sure what caused the man's death or how he ended up in that creek.
A major meeting on the Washington agenda this morning. The president, top House and Senate leadership are set for debt ceiling talks today.
As the leaders prepare for their second face-to-face, the Treasury Secretary is doubling down on her warnings. And as ABC's Justin Finch reports, she says the U.S. is at high risk of defaulting in less than 3 weeks if the debt limit showdown continues.
Or agreeing to raise the debt limit, Speaker McCarthy is insisting the White House cut trillions in federal spending.
We've made it plain to our Republican colleagues that default is not an option. Its consequences are too damaging, too severe.
Staffers for the president, the speaker, and top congressional Democrats have held ongoing meetings since those leaders held face-to-face talks last week. Today, the leadership is set to meet again. Sources say they're reviewing proposals that would claw back unspent COVID funds, streamline regulations for new energy projects, and impose stricter work requirements for certain federal aid programs. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen firing off another warning this week, saying that any further delay could leave the U.S. unable to pay its bills as soon as June 1st. Yellen noting that could cause severe hardship to American families, harm our global leadership position, and raise questions about our ability to defend our national security interests. The U.S. defaulting on its debts could halt Social Security payments, leave troops unpaid, and by one forecast, leave nearly 8 million people out of work. Secretary Yellen also cautioning that even an 11th hour deal could risk serious harm to U.S. business and consumer confidence, raise short-term borrowing costs, and threaten the U.S. credit rating. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
In New Mexico, an 18-year-old man armed with at least 3 guns roamed through a community yesterday, firing randomly at cars and houses. 3 people were killed and 6 others were hurt, including 2 police officers, before the shooter was killed. The shootings occurred in Farmington, a city of about 50,000 people near the Four Corners region. Farmington's police chief says officers responding to reports of shots being fired encountered the attacker within minutes and killed him with at least 1 shot.
Executives who led 2 failed banks will answer questions on Capitol Hill this week. The former leaders of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank are set to testify to the Senate Banking Committee today. Since those banks failed back in March, the Federal Reserve and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, have detailed mistakes by bank management as well as federal regulators. Wednesday and Thursday, senators will hear from people at the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, and New York State regulators.
Drivers are shelling out less money these days to fill up the tank of gas just in time for the Memorial Day weekend. AAA says this time last year, gas was nearly $5 a gallon on average across the nation, and now the average is about $3.54. That's a 21% drop from a year ago. It's also 29% lower from last year's record high of $5.02 a gallon. Analysts say fears of a recession have kept oil and gas prices lower. Thank goodness. 436, 67 degrees.
Coming up next, how Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons recently caused a stir when he said he was putting on weight.
Plus, a state championship on the line for Antonian Prep softball later this morning. How the team hopes to go back to back.
And a quick check of the roads with TransGuide looking over at I-10 at Pro Bend, where things are looking good. But we're going to get a check-in with Stephen Cavazos in the next half hour.
Sometimes it's hard to describe things this early in the morning, or even talk because it's so early, but it is very nice out there this morning. Not bad at all. We'll say not too shabby. Much more at GMSA to come. We'll be right back after this.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons is versatile, which is one of the reasons why the boys drafted him in 2021 with the 12th overall selection. In 2 seasons, he has 26.5 sacks. Parsons recently caused a stir when he said he was going to put on weight in order to play defensive end full-time. At Cowboys rookie minicamp, defensive coordinator Dan Quinn said, "Oh, hold on, not so fast."
Yeah, 100%. So he is a pass rushing linebacker. Okay, so if you ever need position changes, come to me. Okay, not to any of the guys, and we can adjust for that. I think what he was probably trying to say is I'm really emphasizing some pass rush into my off season.
Quinn also said this is one of his absolute favorite times of the year because he gets to train the rookies. Houston Texans traded up to draft linebacker Will Anderson Jr., 3rd overall, behind quarterback C.J. Stroud, who was drafted 2nd overall by Houston. Texans are moving Anderson from linebacker to defensive end. The young man is living his NFL dream, but says he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, it hit me, but I haven't arrived yet. I just got here. I haven't did anything yet. I got to earn it. I got to go out there and, get the trust from the guys, keep connecting with them and just, being intentional in everything that I'm doing and working hard. So, yeah, I'm here, but I haven't arrived to where I want to be at yet.
Texans rookie center Juice Scruggs says C.J. Stroud's knowledge is crazy. Antonia Prep softball left for UT Arlington yesterday, where they beat Nolan Catholic 11-5 in the TAPS Class 6A Division I state semifinals. The defending state champs are now 1 win away from going back-to-back.
It would mean so much, softball is a really big thing in this school, and going back-to-back would just be amazing.
The goal is to win for the 2nd time to defend our state championship and just bring it our all.
Antonian will face John Paul II later this morning at 10:30 for the TAPS 6A D1 State Championship. Hey, congratulations to the Alamo Heights High School lacrosse team. They beat Vista Ridge 9-8 in overtime to win the Class C State Championship. Robert Mickler scored the game winner in sudden death overtime. Bennett Flesher, Conley McKenna, and Jay Garner were all involved in that game-winning tally. Mickler scored 3 goals and was named Offensive Most Valuable Player. Goalie Anderson Bogus had 11 saves, including 3 in overtime, and was named Defensive MVP. Congratulations to Alamo Heights Mules lacrosse team.
Yeah, congrats. A lot of excitement there. Time now 4:42 and 67 degrees for now. Up next, a terrifying moment caught on camera as a tiger shark nearly overturns a man's kayak while he was out fishing in Hawaii last week.
And the Alamo Dome has stood on San Antonio's east side for 30 years. Up next, why it almost did not become a reality.
And welcome back. It's 4:45. A fisherman is speaking out about the terrifying moment when a tiger shark attacked his kayak while fishing in Hawaii last week. ABC's Victor Okendo has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look. Watch this terrifying moment as a tiger shark nearly overturned Scott Hiraguchi's kayak while he was out fishing off Kualoa in Hawaii last week.
Tiger shark! Tiger shark ran me.
Watch again. You can see the shark barreling into this kayak.
Oh!
And this morning, that fisherman is telling his harrowing tale to Good Morning America.
I had caught a fish, a small fish that I had turned around and put in my fish bag. And then I had my head down, tying hooks. And I heard this whooshing sound, and it kind of climbed up the side of the kayak and bumped me. And that was scary.
And we'll have much more of this incredible story coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Victor Okendo, ABC News, Miami.
Holy cow. Okay, 446. The Alamo Dome celebrating 30 years. The facility opened in San Antonio back in 1993.
And the driving force to get the Alamo Dome built was former Mayor Henry Cisneros. He spoke to our RJ Marcus to reflect on 30 years of memories at the Dome and what it took to get San Antonio to buy into the project.
It was a classic go for broke campaign.
The Alamo Dome has stood on San Antonio's east side for 30 years, but years ago, Henry Cisneros' dream almost did not become a reality.
When we started the campaign, the Dome was opposed by 70% of the people and supported by 30%. On election night, it passed by 51% with 49% opposed.
The city was deeply divided over the issue, but Cisneros, who was the former mayor at the time, put his political weight behind the project and his chips on the table.
And frankly, my own reputation was riding on it. You take a risk like this, you take a hit, and all of a sudden your stature starts to fall.
3 decades later, the Alamo Dome has hosted countless sporting events, concerts, and conventions.
This is where the Spurs won their first championship. This is where we've had NCAA Final Fours multiple times. We would have missed all of that. And I don't know when it might have happened again.
The Alamo Dome accomplished many of its goals, giving San Antonio the facility it needed to compete for large events, but the NFL ultimately never came.
We came very close to keeping the Saints, but the NFL felt like they couldn't kick New Orleans while they were down.
Cisneros believes that to this day, the Dome was a big bet that paid off despite the risk.
Don't build it, and you'll never have a prayer. That I knew, and that is true. And we got in the hunt, and we've been close several times. But as I say, I think the Dome is a success without NFL football.
And he reflects on that fateful election in 1989 and can't imagine San Antonio without the Alamo Dome.
I can't imagine anyone seriously saying, we made a mistake, we shouldn't have built it, because so many things have happened that wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
And let's look at the roads with TransSky. Looking over at I-35 at Thousand Oaks. Things look pretty good over there. And also I-37 at Cesar Chavez, right next to that Alamo Dome that we were just
right there. Perfect timing for that shot.
Yeah.
I remember way back when, not long after it was built, and watching inside like all the construction shows and things like that, and they had come up with different construction techniques. I think it was right there along 35 or something that they had to do that was very unique, that kind of had to solve a problem before they could build that thing. So,
okay.
Yeah, something to do with the ground, the foundation. And everything. Right. I don't remember specifically, but I just remember it being on one of those shows.
That kind of stuff fascinates me.
Yeah.
It's real intriguing, the engineering aspect of it. All right, back to a topic I brought up at the very top of the newscast. Any showers or storms out there right now?
We got a couple of them out there down in the southeast up to the northwest. We'll have a few more around today. Not as many folks are going to be seeing a shower today, but if you do, like yesterday, I mean, it was coming down in buckets at times and then ended very quickly. So they will be brief, heavy downpours. Beautiful sunsets. I mean, some folks really saw a great sunset yesterday after some more wonderful rain around here. So we've got a pretty good picture. Still that little fuzz around some of the street lights, so still enough humidity out there. And talking about rain, once again, we've got what's being picked up on radar. There may be a couple little sprinkles out there that are very, very light, but down here around Beeville, and these are sliding up to the northwest primarily. A couple little scattered showers here and there. And then we do have a few more out in northwest portions of the Hill Country, northern Kinney County right there, and sliding up in toward Edwards County, and even a few just scattered light little showers here and there. Not really anything of any consequence. But again, later on this afternoon, if something, or even later on this morning, when some of these pop up, they could have some brief heavy downpours. So we're in the mid 60s right now, and dew points are, well, they're up there, but not bad. As a matter of fact, they are slightly lower, just by a handful of degrees compared to this time yesterday. And when it comes to the humidity, I think we'll take anything we can get. Got that 10% chance for a couple little showers here and there, patch of fog, although I'm not seeing anything showing up on any of the graphics or any reports of anything as of yet, but we may see a little bit. And then again, a couple of showers are going to be possible here and there, upper 70s at noon, and a 30% chance for a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms. 82 high temperature today. Normal high is 87. We'll take that, but that is going to be changing over the next couple of days. Computer model, and again, it's not really bullish on a lot of rain this morning, although I think there will be a couple of spots here and there popping up, and then a few more later on this afternoon, kind of few and far between. Most of us don't see rain, but if you do, got to emphasize, could have that brief heavy downpour on ground that's pretty well still saturated. That'll be the situation going on into this evening as well. And as far as what's causing all of this, over there in Mexico, you can see, and this is the water vapor imagery, that big upper low, which is still spinning around here. We've had a lot of these little disturbances kind of hanging around here, just enough with all this moisture around to get the atmosphere churned up enough to give us a couple of these showers around here. Now, over the next couple of days, faucet's pretty much going to get turned off, and then we heat up, but it'll get turned back on again. So kind of jumping ahead of myself here. 78 degrees, mostly cloudy, couple of showers at noon, and then a high temperature today up to 82 with, again, a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Most folks don't see anything, but if you do, a brief heavy downpour. If something pops up tomorrow, fine, but for the most part, faucet gets turned off in through the rest of the work week. And temperatures are going to be going up. We're going to be pushing at 90 by Thursday, Friday, but to put it in perspective, only 3 degrees above normal. Still a fair amount of humidity out there. And then rain chances will come back, a few of them here and there over the weekend, and temperatures will go back down into the mid and lower 80s. I'm loving those mid and lower 80s.
Yes, that will help.
Especially going into the latter part of May.
Mm-hmm. That will help, especially after Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Keep reaching the 90s. Thank you, Mike.
Right now we're at 452, 67 degrees.
Next, the show might go on for the Tony Awards despite the writer's strike. But finally, an answer to the age-old question, why Willie Nelson just can't wait to get on the road again.
5 to 5. Have you ever wondered why Willie Nelson can't wait to get on the road again?
ABC's Jason Nathanson has the answer, plus an update on the writer's strike.
The nominees for Best Direction of a Play.
The show now might go on for the Tony Awards. The Writers Guild of America has agreed not to picket Broadway's big night, paving the way for the show to possibly air on TV. The WGA, which is on strike, says it requested some specific alterations, and the Tony producers agreed, though it's not clear how that might affect the telecast. Tony nominee and Succession actor Ariane Moayed told me if the show were not televised,
it's going to have a real devastating financial effect on the Broadway community and New York City in general, because the Tony Awards are the biggest advertising that Broadway has.
The broadcast is scheduled for June 11th on CBS and Paramount+. Have you ever wondered exactly why Willie Nelson just can't wait to get on the road again, and what inspired that song and his countless other hits? A new book will get into all of that. It's called Energy Follows Thought, The Stories Behind My Songs, which will tell the backstory of 160 Nelson tunes. The country music icon turned 90 this year. The book will be out in October. And another country star continues to rule the charts. Morgan Wallen's song Last Night, #1 for a 6th week on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. His album, One Thing at a Time, #1 for a 10th week on the Billboard 200 album chart. The first male solo artist with back-to-back albums, spending 10 weeks on top. And the whole Rhythm Nation celebrating a birthday today. 5-time Grammy winner Janet Jackson is 57. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Time now 4:57 and 67 degrees for now.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis appears to be days away from officially jumping into the 2024 presidential race. Up next, when campaign sources say he could make an announcement and the changes he could make to the country's educational system.
Online threats against schools was a big topic last night's school board meeting in Uvalde as we approach the anniversary of the shooting. The changes that school has made so far to help students feel safer.
And an eye on the roads right now, 281 at San Pedro, fairly light traffic. Underneath there on the main lanes at 1604 Petranco look good. And there's 90. Wow, these are moving quick. Okay, I'll move on. Here's a commercial break and we'll check in with Stephen after this.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Just over a week until the anniversary of the Uvalde school shooting, and some are still not confident in the school's efforts to protect students.
It's been a year, and nothing has changed. We're still stuck on May 24th.
Ask yourself, what did I do the last year to make a difference?
Just ahead, why the superintendent says he thinks non-credible online threats will ramp up in the days leading up to May 24th.
Plus, when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis could announce his plans for the presidency.
Mike is announcing his plans for a really nice forecast this morning, 67 degrees, but it does not involve a White House bid. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 16th.
Thanks for joining us. Not yet, right? No, we're looking forward to the nice weather, though.
When it comes to Mike and the weather, he is purely an independent.
Yes.
What's great to talk about, and I think we'd all get elected because we have been talking about a lot of rain and getting a lot of rain, and there is even more in the forecast. This morning we have a couple of showers out there as of right now. 67 degrees, that's the normal low temperature. Dew points at 64, so that's not bad. 90% humidity, a little bit of a breeze out of the west to northwest, and later on this afternoon we're going to be 5 degrees below normal. Still keep plenty of clouds around here, and we still have a couple of stray showers and even a thunderstorm that are going to be popping up later on today. Once again, the aquifer continued to go up, even though 1/10 of a foot. We'll take that upward climb. 645.6 was yesterday's reading. And then as far as the allergens, mold is on the high side still, but it came down a whole bunch. Remember, the previous day was like 16,000 something. Grass is also on the low side. We do have a couple of showers out there as of right now. This is what the latest radar picture is showing up. Not much, obviously, but just a couple of them, and almost in the same spots that we had some rain at this time yesterday morning. A couple of showers down there along the coast and kind of sliding up to the northwest a little bit right there around Beeville, and as you can see, an okay little shower just to the southeast of Goliad. Not much, a couple of more down there as well. And one or two perhaps in LaSalle, McMullen County. And then further off to the northwest, we've got a couple of showers and even one or two lightning strikes out here. And these are sliding up in toward Edwards County. But notice how they try to develop and then sort of fizzle out just a little bit. And closer into town, couple of showers maybe mixed in with some of this clutter right here in Atascosa County. Again, not much. We'll see a few little sprinkles here and there, a stray shower, and then a couple more later on this morning and even this afternoon. Mid-60s, everybody's pretty consistent right now thanks to the cloud cover, thanks to the humidity, which is very consistent all around the area. But this is not, I mean, we've had a lot higher humidity. Remember earlier last week it was up around the mid-70s. So this is not bad considering all that moisture in the ground as well. So a patch of fog may develop this morning, a sprinkle or two, light little shower, and then a few showers, a couple of storms out there. Most of us won't see any rain today. Again, there's going to be fewer than what we had around here yesterday, but still, if you do get one of those storms, could have a pretty decent downpour up around Canyon Lake yesterday. I know it was coming down in buckets, and even downtown when those storms moved through, it was coming down in buckets. Midweek, a lot more sunshine, faucets get turned off, and heat gets turned up, upper 80s, low 90s around the area. But then we go into the weekend and temperatures go back down to the low 80s, and chance of rain returns this weekend. We'll talk all about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Mr. Cavazos, good morning, sir. What's going on?
Well, not a lot over here, Mike. Thankfully, it's been a pretty quiet start as we get a look around town. Let's go ahead and just show you what's shaping up for our Tuesday morning commute. Drivers there at 1604 Petranco or Booker, pardon me, really won't see a lot out there, even 35 at Thousand Oaks, but maybe a few more folks folks in that particular area. We know a lot of folks tend to travel in the north and southbound lanes, but thankfully 37 at Cesar Chavez is a very quiet area. We're really not spotting a lot of issues out there, just a lot of pavement and a few of those early bird commuters that are getting the day started. But taking you to the map, really we're going to see a lot of this for probably the next hour or so. Quiet roadways and plenty of green out there on the screen. As a quick reminder, we obviously have a lot of that construction that's taking place, some of which will actually begin today. We'll have more of that a little bit later on. But let's get to some travel times if you plan on hitting the roads and heading into the Alamo City. From Pleasanton right now along 37 northbound, it should be about a 28-minute commute. And the drive right now is perfect for our friends that are traveling in from Castroville along US 90 eastbound. Should take you about half an hour. And that arrival from Lidle looks pretty normal, about 16 minutes along 35 northbound. But back here on TransGuide, yeah, some of these shots are just showing very quiet roadways there at 410 at Perrin Vidal. But we know they will get busy as the minutes do go by. But we're going to watch things closely and have an update on some of those road closures coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Mark.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, police responded to a double shooting overnight. It happened around 11 p.m. in the 2400 block of Castroville Road on the west side. Police say two males were in a stolen vehicle when they were shot at by someone in the parking lot of a convenience store. The driver was hit twice in the back, and the male teenage passenger was hit once in the arm. Police say the victims drove off and stopped at a nearby apartment complex. First responders got there, and both were taken to the hospital in critical condition. So far, there is no information on who shot them. Last night, there were heightened emotions at Uvalde CISD's final board meeting before May 24th, the one-year mark since the deadly shooting at Robb Elementary.
The majority of the meeting was spent talking about online threats against schools, and Lee Waldman was there as families of the 21 victims asked the districts to take these threats seriously.
I feel like we need to take everything serious and not just assume that it's not credible, because we never know when, because that man, that person that did what he did, just put it on social media and nobody took him serious either.
Days after a non-credible online threat to a school caused panic in Uvalde and resulted in 90% of students being taken out of school, the after effects are still being felt. Berlinda Arreola, who lost her step-granddaughter Amory Jo, says not enough has been done to even stop the threat of violence.
It's been a year and nothing has changed. We're still stuck on May 24th.
Jackie Cáceres' uncle, Jesse Rizzo, agrees.
I beg you guys, when you guys get home, get in the car, whatever, ask yourself, what did I do the last year to make a difference?
In response to the increase of online threats against schools, the district will no longer allow backpacks for the remainder of the year. Instead, it will implement a clear bag policy. Interim Superintendent Gary Patterson says he believes these threats will continue and ramp up in the days leading up to May 24th.
It's very difficult. It's frustrating to all of us, and it's one of the fastest rising causes of frustration in our country, where we can't track these in real time and get that information, whether they're credible or not, out.
Patterson says that if parents choose to keep their students home for the remainder of the school year, those will be excused absences, as long as the parents let the district know and students complete their work. And just a reminder, there will be no school here from May 23rd through May 25th out of an abundance of caution. Graduation is happening May 26th, and there will be extra security. For GMSA, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Now to Florida Governor and likely presidential candidate Ron DeSantis and his new crackdown on college campuses.
He is against so-called diversity and inclusion programs, and as ABC's Rhiannon Alley reports, he's explaining a new law as he takes another step toward a possible White House campaign.
This morning, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis appears to be just days from officially jumping into the 2024 presidential race. A source says his team is telling donors to expect a gathering in Miami next week, coinciding with the campaign launch around Memorial Day. It comes as DeSantis signs a new bill into law prohibiting state colleges in Florida from spending money on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, also known as DEI programs.
DEI is better viewed as standing for discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination.
The law also says state college courses cannot include a curriculum that teaches identity politics or teach theories that systemic racism, sexism, oppression, and privilege are inherent in the institutions of the United States.
Florida's getting out of that game. If you want to do things like gender ideology, go to Berkeley.
Meanwhile, a Florida teacher says she's now under investigation by the state's education department for showing her 5th grade students the Disney movie Strange World, which features a character who is gay. Jenna Barbie says she showed her students the movie as it relates to earth science and received permission slips from parents. But according to Barbie, a parent, who's also a member of the school board, reported her to the state. Florida lawmakers last year enacted what critics call the Don't Say Gay law, banning classroom discussion on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Barbie says she wasn't aware that lawmakers recently expanded the ban through 12th grade.
I didn't even know it was a big deal until it was brought to my attention. These students all have one-to-one devices. They talk about these things all the time. I've shut down much worse in class.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
5:10, 67 degrees.
And just ahead, how Amazon is planning to bring an AI-powered product search to its online store.
Imagine taking your car on a road trip when all of a sudden police pull you over and tell you your car is stolen. That's exactly what happened to a San Antonio woman. Her warning for others next.
Let's look out there with live cam. Kind of a nice start to your day, 67 degrees, and you can definitely feel that when you step out the door this morning. We're expecting it to warm up a little, and maybe some people might get a shower. We're going to check in with Mike in just a minute.
A San Antonio woman on a road trip was left stranded by thieves.
She found this out when Louisiana police pulled her over for having a stolen license plate.
I'm in the back of the cop car just crying my eyes out because I'm thinking I'm about to go to jail for something I didn't do.
Now, Courtney Wingo says she was driving her husband's car. She was left stranded for about 5 hours while her family back here in San Antonio figured out how to get her temporary plates and get her back on the road.
San Antonio police say thieves find the same make and model of a stolen car, then switch out the plates to make it harder to detect. An easy fix could cost you just a few bucks.
Anti-theft license plate screws is one extra step that a thief is going to have to overcome.
Police say make it a habit to walk around your vehicle before you drive off to ensure no one's tampered with your license plates.
And time now is 5:15 and 67 degrees for now.
Just ahead, how WhatsApp is making it easier to lock and hide individual chats. And TransGuide looking good at 35 and Walsall.
Find the brand's inspiration and value you need to own your style at Macy's Ultimate Shopping event now. With an extra 25% off top brands, just in time for summer. Plus, pick up in store or get curbside pickup at Macy's.
Finding a subtly sweet tea is easy. Nice, right? Huh. Pure leaf, subtly sweet. But saying no in a subtly sweet way? Impressive. Takes practice.
But absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Pure leaf, lower sugar. Just the right amount of sweetness.
I've become a bit of an expert in sun care. An SP aficionado, if you will. My bottle of choice, Neutrogena Ultra Sheer. A lightweight blend that protects 6 layers deep with a smooth, dry touch finish. This round's on me. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer.
I need to dig deep. To do this, and this, and this. That's why every Cliff Bar is purposely crafted with a blend of protein, fat, and carbs. Because the more good you put in, the more great you get out.
Just about 5:19.
Yep.
Yeah. Did y'all have a good Monday?
Yeah, it was okay. It was Monday.
That's right, you weren't here
Yeah, you weren't here.
Catch me up. What did I miss?
Have a good Mother's Day.
Oh, I did.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you. It was nice. It was a good weekend.
You didn't miss a ton. we missed you.
We did miss you.
I missed you guys.
Thankfully, we're not missing any congestion, at least at this point of the day, guys. So let's get a quick look at traffic. Are we ever missing congestion? No. Nope. I don't think so. But let's get a look there at town because things have been moving along without any trouble. Our morning commute is actually shaping up to be pretty nice nice. Let's hope it stays that way as more folks get out on the roadway. But as you see there on TransGuide, right now would be a perfect opportunity if you need some tranquility because things are pretty quiet out there at 10 at Proban, both the east and westbound lanes. But we're expecting to see a little bit more traffic, especially areas like there at 35 at Walsham. But taking you to the map, and it's really going to be the same story for the next probably half hour or so. Plenty of green on the screen and still some of the active construction that we mentioned a little bit earlier. Quick reminder, I-10 east side of Bexar County, we actually have road work that will begin today. This starts around 9 in the morning and it's going to take us all the way up until 3 in the afternoon. We'll see the closure on the I-10 eastbound frontage road, and that's actually between Graytown Road and File Road. There's plenty of that road work that continues to take place on the east side of Bexar County, so just plan your commute ahead of time. Head over to ksat.com/traffic for a full list of closures. But back here, things have just been moving without any trouble, and I'm not seeing a lot of problems on TxDOT's website either, Mike. So
that's always good news. Yeah. Watch out for maybe a sprinkle or a patch of fog here or there this morning. All right, yesterday, of course, we were talking about how you still can see some heavy downpours. That's going to be the situation again today. And here's one picture from Canyon Lake area, and it's still raining by 9:30, just over 4.5 inches of rain, which when you look at some of the radar estimates, now this one comes in right at about 3 inches there. So perhaps in their backyard, did get about 4.5 inches. And then look at that down there in Atascosa County, about 4.5 inches of rain, just over 3 right around Kennedy. And then just to the west of Pearsall, 2.5 inches. All these are radar estimates, but yeah, some of those storms, and they didn't move very quickly, dumped a whole bunch. And right there in southern Medina County, about 4 inches of rain. Southern Bexar County, just about 1.5 inches. Didn't get that much out there at the airport, just 0.06 of an inch, but we are above normal even for the year by 1/4 of an inch. And of course, the majority of all the rain has come just since the 1st of March. So way above normal since the 1st of March. Right now, we do have a couple of showers, 1 or 2 of them down there to the south and to the southeast. Not really any big deal. But again, like I said, you could see as these develop, especially later on this afternoon, a couple of heftier downpours. And that's the situation with that one little spot right there in southern Edwards County. But it's moving along fairly well. And a lot of these have just been kind of trying to grow into something and sort of fizzling on out. Temperatures are really consistent right now in the mid-60s all around the area. And dew points, again, have dropped down a good 4, 5, 6 degrees compared to this time yesterday. So it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but a couple of degrees with dew points, that makes a lot of difference. So we still have that 10% chance for a stray shower or 2 hanging around here. And that'll be the situation later on today. Some sunshine. Very limited, but some sunshine is going to try and squeeze on through. 78 degrees at noon and then 82 high temperature. 30% chance for another shower or thunderstorm to pop up. So fewer folks are going to be seeing rain today. But again, got to emphasize, if you do, it's going to be a hefty downpour. You can see a hefty downpour. This particular computer model is not really bullish on the rain, but then we get those few popping up here and there as we go into the late afternoon, evening hours, right around dinner time, and then going into this evening as well. And then after today, now tomorrow you can't rule out 100% a chance of rain, but it's almost non-existent. Basically, the faucet gets shut off for the rest of the week and temperatures start to go up. Today, however, 78 at noon and then 82. Normal high is 87, so we're definitely below that. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms hanging around here. And tomorrow, back to basically a normal reading. Pretty much nil as far as rain. Nothing Thursday, Friday, up around 90. And then the weekend, temperatures back down, low 80s, and rain chances back up a little bit this weekend. But if you have outdoor plans, wouldn't change them. Just there'll be 1 or 2 of those showers out there.
Yeah, 80s look good.
Yes, very good.
Thanks, Mike.
523, 67 degrees.
Coming up next, how you could get a free TV thanks to a new, unique kind of advertising.
In today's Tech Bites, AI-powered search may be coming to Amazon soon. The company is reportedly planning to transform the way customers search for products on its online store. Bloomberg spotted job listings describing a reimagined search with an interactive experience to answer product questions and more. WhatsApp has a new security feature. Chat Lock allows users to lock and hide individual chats. The thread is removed from your inbox and put into its own folder. From there, it can be accessed via your phone's password or unlocked by biometrically. Finally, a new startup named Telly is offering 500,000 free TVs to customers. Here's the catch. The televisions have two screens. The one on the bottom will show a steady stream of ads. Telly says revenue from ad sales will pay for the free TV set. So it's not really free. It's more like remote work. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
527, 67 degrees.
President Biden and top congressional leaders will discuss the country's debt limit later today. Up next, why some think there's a high chance the government could shut down.
If you're like 42 million other Americans, you probably will be traveling during Memorial Day weekend. Coming up, ways you can better avoid the crowds if you're traveling by car or by plane.
Plus, how a glitch on iPhones could be compromising the parental controls you put in place on your child's smartphone.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, everything is online these days, but if you struggle with the digital world, you are not alone. How you can avoid being left behind. This morning, worries continue to grow in Washington over the country's debt limit.
There's a high chance that the government could shut down.
Never in the history of our country have we failed to pay our bills on time.
Just ahead, why the battle over the debt limit is being compared to a really bad football game.
And let's look outside with live cam. We're starting at 67 degrees. And Mike tells us that a lot of people won't get rain, but some people will. So we're going to check in with him right now.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 16th.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good Monday so far. Some people are getting kind of used to the rain here and there.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So it was Thursday. I think I cut my grass. I could probably run the mower over it again, but I got to wait for it to dry out. So you will have a couple of days for that to come about once we get into tomorrow, especially Thursday and Friday. And yes, some folks will see rain again today. Most folks won't. And we are looking off, and there is, look at that, a little hole in the clouds right there. Nice little sliver of the moon. Very, very beautiful. What a great shot out there. So we've got temperature right now 67 degrees. Dew point stands at 64, which means there's, yes, some humidity out there, but not a ton of humidity by any stretch. And here's what's showing up on radar right now. We've got these few showers, a couple of them down here to the south right there, northern McMullen County and right around Goliad counties. And notice how also these were trying to get kind of a moderate shower going there, and they're sort of fizzling on out just a little bit. Further off to the north and west, we've got a few more in portions of the hill country. Right here, maybe a couple of sprinkles, western Bandera County, northern Real, and then over there just around Rock Springs, western Edwards County and Val Verde, northern Kinney County. Not really amounting to too much of anything, but again, got to emphasize, could see a decent downpour. We had pretty good downpours scattered about the area yesterday as well. Mid 60s all around as of right now. And again, humidity is there, but it's not ridiculously high humidity. Mold came down significantly from the previous day. Remember, it was about 16,000 plus. Grass is also on the low side. The updated count comes out in a couple of hours. 78 at noon, 82 high temperature today. Again, a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms around the area. A decent downpour, but most of us won't see rain. Yes, you will get a chance to, hopefully the lawn dries out enough by the end of the week so you can get that cut before we have another rain chance coming on in here by the weekend. We'll talk about that and talk about some, pretty warm temperatures to finish up the work week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, anything going on yet?
Mike, nothing over here. Thankfully, things have been pretty quiet. I know the commuters that are getting ready to hit the roadway will love to hear that and see what we have here on TransGuide 35 southbound. Those upper and lower levels at Main aren't too bad. We're going to see a lot more folks out there. That's expected as the minutes go by, but right now things are pretty fair at 37 at Fair Avenue. You can see the north and southbound lanes may have a few folks out there, but we're really not spotting any slowdowns this early in the morning. But of course, we're going to see a little bit more of the activity, especially here at 410 at McCullough. Always a pretty busy spot in the east and westbound lanes. But let's take you to the map. And again, it's been very quiet for the last hour or so. We've just been seeing lots of green on the screen and a lot of the scattered construction that you see right behind me. None of it is causing an issue for drivers that plan on hitting the roadways, but that could be a different story that we tell a little bit later as as the minutes again do go by and we get a lot more folks out there. But let's take a look at travel times because it's staying pretty consistent over here. I-10 eastbound, that journey from Bernie should take you about 24 minutes to the downtown area. And if you are traveling along 281 southbound heading in from Bulverde, well, you can expect about a 25-minute drive time along those southbound lanes and about 26 minutes along 35 southbound if you're traveling in from New Braunfels. But things have been pretty quiet over here at 10 at Proband. Again, maybe just a few more shots. And as I turn my head and take a look at some of these TransGuide cameras, looks like we may have an issue that just popped up there at I-10 at 35. Looks like a possible crash. I'm going to have to work to get some information, but I do see a vehicle that looks like it may have driven off of the main lanes there. We'll find out some details. I'm going to step out and get on the phone with our friends at TransGuide, and I'll let you know what's coming up here in this particular area a little bit later on in the newscast. Mark.
Thank you. If the U.S. debt ceiling drama was compared to a football game, neither team has the lead, and it is late in the fourth quarter.
The U.S. could potentially breach its spending cap and go broke in less than 3 weeks. And as CNN's John Lawrence reports, so far, no one is near the goal line.
Discussions about the U.S. debt ceiling are moving like highway traffic on a holiday weekend.
There's a high chance that the government could shut down. We don't know for how long. So my smartest clients right now are already thinking about that. They're putting cash away. They are making sure that they've got either credit lines or financing available.
President Joe Biden is expected to meet again with top congressional leaders, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Tuesday for another meeting on the matter. This comes as Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen issued another warning that the U.S. could potentially breach on its debt as soon as June 1st.
Default must be taken off the table. Never in the history of our country have we failed to pay our bills on time. To default now would mean crossing a terrible point of no return.
While the Biden White House wants the spending cap boosted with no strings attached, McCarthy and House Republicans are willing to raise it $1.5 trillion, but with cuts to some domestic programs. And so far, neither side is willing to budge.
We're only a couple of weeks away, and if you look at the timeline to pass something in the House and pass something in the Senate, you've got to have something done by this weekend, and we are nowhere near any of that.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The Department of Justice will have to go to temporary court order that will let them not skip a step in releasing migrants from custody. The order means the department is temporarily blocked from quickly releasing migrants without court dates. This despite the DOJ arguing the Department of Homeland Security found a demanding situation at the southwest border. The DOJ argued if Border Patrol was not allowed to release migrants quickly, DHS could arrest them and release them with notices to report.
And scramble up an omelet, the price of eggs has gone way down. Last week, Midwest large eggs were just 94 cents a dozen wholesale. That's down from a whopping $5.46 a dozen 6 months ago, according to an independent price reporting agency. Now, those are wholesale prices, so you're likely paying more at the grocery store. Last year, a deadly avian flu wiped out a significant number of hens, reducing that supply. On top of that, farmers were dealing with higher costs for feed and fuel. Now supply is back on track and demand has now outpaced it.
537, 67 degrees.
If you'll be flying or driving for the upcoming Memorial Day weekend, just ahead some ways you can avoid some of the 42 million Americans who are expected to be traveling with you.
The new warning for parents about a parental control glitch on the iPhone. Up next, how those controls could just turn off without you knowing it.
And let's look out there with live cam. A few people may see rain today, but for now, looking good out there, 67 degrees. We'll be right back.
.40, at least one lawmaker is now in a fight with Apple.
As ABC Andrew Dimbert reports, he says there's an issue with one of the tech giant's most popular products that has cost parents a level of control.
This morning, a congressman from New Jersey is warning parents about a parental control glitch on the iPhone.
It's been open season for our kids in the Apple world.
Congressman Josh Gottheimer says a bug in Apple software can automatically turn off the parental controls. Those are the controls that prevent kids from viewing explicit content. And Gottheimer says iPhone settings that limit screen time are also not functioning as promised.
A few months ago, I started hearing from parents that Apple's screen time parental controls weren't working properly. They kept randomly resetting after parents set them. Then we checked, and we had the same issue with our kids, time and again, including, by the way, This morning, it reset again.
It comes as data shows children ages 8 to 12 in the U.S. spend 4 to 6 hours a day watching or using screens. For teens, it's up to 9 hours a day, far more than what experts recommend. Gottheimer says Apple confirmed it's aware of the issues, but provided no clear timeline for a fix.
Apple's dragging their feet on developing effective parental controls for their addictive products. Turning a profit cannot be more important than protecting our children.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Now 541, 67 degrees.
And do you use sugar substitutes like stevia to try to be healthier? Up next, why the World Health Organization says it's not a good idea.
Checking TransSky, flashing lights I-10 at I-35. I think this is the one that Steven spotted just a few minutes ago. We're trying to get more information. We'll check in with him coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
And welcome back. It's 5:44. Your morning consumer headlines. Americans are holding on to their cars longer than ever. The latest analysis from S&P Global Mobility shows the average age of life of vehicles in the U.S. has hit a record high. Researchers say the average car on the road is around 12 and a half years old. An older fleet of vehicles means more repair work will be needed, which will likely cause a surge in aftermarket repair opportunities. The report points to supply chain issues last year and rising interest rates and inflation. There's also a slowing demand for new cars as fewer Americans are willing to give up on their older vehicles.
New cars are outrageously expensive these days, too. We'll get ready for a record-breaking Memorial Day. According to AAA, just over 42 million Americans are expected to travel 50 miles or more from home over the holiday weekend. As compared to 2020, a 7% increase, or nearly 3.5 million more people. AAA says it's a glimpse of what's ahead this summer travel season, saying roads and airports will be busier than before the pandemic. If you're flying, AAA recommends booking the first flight in the morning since it has fewer disruptions than later flights. National average for a gallon of gas is below $4 a gallon, which was lower than last summer. AAA recommends avoiding the roads Friday afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
So the World Health Organization says if you're trying to lose weight, don't rely on sugar substitutes. Sugar substitutes exclude natural extracts like stevia and synthetic varieties. Now, the WHO said non-sugar sweeteners don't help with weight control in the long term. The organization said its recommendation applies to all people except those with pre-existing diabetes. One WHO official recommended finding other ways to reduce excess sugar intake, such as consuming food with naturally occurring sugars like fruit.
546.
Let's go ahead and look out there with a trans guide. I-10 at 35, Stephen, looking kind of interesting.
Yes, unfortunately, we do have a crash that's been reported here, Mark and Steph, because 10 at 35, you see these flashing lights out there. In fact, the exit ramp there is actually blocked off at this time. I spoke to our friends over at TransGuide a few minutes ago, and what we are learning is at least one vehicle is involved. This is actually in the westbound lanes of I-10 as you head to 35 south, so you're going to have trouble there. We're already starting to see a little bit of a buildup. Nothing too drastic. It's behind that crash icon, but a lot of folks tend to travel down south, perhaps to Lytle. You have to watch out here because, again, that ramp is closed as first responders are investigating this crash scene. So we're going to watch it very closely, but you see a little bit of the orange already starting to show out there. That's just not something we like to see, especially as we get close to a very busy time. So let's hope everyone's doing okay out there, but I'm going to keep my eyes on that as the morning commute does get rolling here. Giving you a wide look at the map, thankfully a little bit more relief out there, guys. We have plenty of green and still some of the active construction, but the big issue, at least for right now on the roadways, will be this particular area here at 10 West, 35 South. Remember, that ramp is closed. We're seeing a little bit of a buildup already taking place, but we're going to watch it very closely through the 6 a.m. hour, find out exactly how this could impact commute, and if we need to find a solution, I'll get on top of that. But for right now, just be aware of what's out there.
You know, the story about the older vehicles on the road, and you think, well, okay, you know, you can take care of them yourself and do maintenance, but if something, even like a light bulb burns out, on cars nowadays, you have to have a science degree, an engineering degree to fix it. I had a car one time, and you had to go through to change a light bulb on the headlight. Go through the front wheel well. They recommended taking the tire off.
Oh my goodness.
Take this little panel, blindly reach your hand in there and try and disconnect all that stuff, then change it and go, it was...
What kind of car was that? What kind of car was that?
It was an SUV, an Infiniti.
Wow.
Yeah, which is Nissan. Yeah. So. Anywho, that's my tale of woe. Hey, yesterday we had some of those storms moving on through the area, and it was looking fairly ominous there for a while, and these clouds dumped a whole bunch of rain in some areas. And that's going to be the situation again today, where you can see a lot of pretty hefty rain, although fewer folks are going to be seeing rain. Out there at the airport right now, everything is moving along fairly well. It appears as though the road is dry as of right now. All right, I've been loving these from the Climate Prediction Center, the 6 to 10 day and then 8 to 14 day outlook. And it's still leaning that we will have slightly better than normal chances for some rain around here as we go into late next week, approaching Memorial Day weekend, and pretty decent chance of being slightly below normal as far as temperatures. Now, normal high today is 87 degrees. It's going to continue to get up into the upper 80s, so could be just a few degrees below that, but nothing ridiculously hot. At least the odds are in our favor. Same thing going in through the end of the month, Memorial Day weekend, and finishing off the month of May. Slightly better than 50-50 chance of having some precipitation around here, and a better than 50-50 chance of having below normal temperatures. So that's, again, encouraging for the entire month. Here's what's going on radar right now. Again, been talking about some of the light little showers down here to the southeast right now. Not any big deal, just a few of them, even in toward Live Oak, McMullen County, a few of these trying to slide up to the northwest a little bit. And same thing further on out to the northwest. A couple of little sprinkly showers in western Bandera County and up toward Riel, and over there Edwards County, just a couple of those showers moving in toward Val Verde. So not a big deal as far as rain is concerned. And well, like I said, most everybody won't see rain today, but if you do, could have a hefty downpour. Mid 60s on average, so we are right at a normal low, which is 67 degrees. We're going to stay pretty steady the next couple of hours. Couple little sprinkly showers here and there. 78 at noon. Again, one or two showers or even a storm is going to try and pop up already by early afternoon, and then later on today we make it up to 82 degrees. But again, a lot of computer models aren't really bullish on rain chances. Just a few of them popping up later on today. That's going to be it. You can probably count these things almost on one hand, and that will go in through dinner time and then the early evening hours as far as some of those scattered rain chances out there. Here's another nice graphic. Average high temperature 87 degrees. Yes, we will get above that Thursday and Friday as we get kind of some sinking air in here, which is going to shut off any rain chances. However, notice how temperatures come back down a good 5, 6, 7 degrees below normal heading in toward the weekend. Low temperatures, pretty much the same story. We're staying right about normal. A little bit of a deviation from that Friday and Saturday mornings, but yeah, this is a great looking forecast once again. Not too hot at all, and at least we have some chances of rain. 78 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. A couple of showers, maybe a storm trying to pop up by noon. Again, it's not going to be a whole lot of rain out there. 82 for a high temperature today. If you do get a shower, just keep that in mind. Could have a heavy downpour or one of those thunderstorms. Won't last all that long, though. 86 tomorrow, 90s Thursday, Friday. Back to the low 80s by the weekend. If you have outdoor plans this weekend, I wouldn't change them, but, you know, just a couple of those showers out there. So at least a chance for some of the, I've been saying, the lawns to dry out, and kind of, you know, verbally thinking what I'm thinking as far as what I have to do.
What you need
Friday,
to do,
so.
yes. Well, I think a lot of people are in the same boat as you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
Time right now, 5:52, 67 degrees.
Apple may dominate the smartphone market, but another company paved the way. Up next, we look at a new movie that may bring back a few memories.
Good morning. Coming up here on a Tuesday on GMA, the new details about the mass shooting in New Mexico that left at least 3 people dead and 6 others wounded. We're live there on the scene. And the high-stakes meeting between President Biden and Speaker McCarthy as the clock ticks down to a potential catastrophic debt default. And the new details and questions about Jamie Foxx's recovery. You'll see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
Picture a cell phone and an email machine all in one thing. There is a free wireless internet signal all across North America, and nobody has figured out how to use it.
The unlikely and relatively unknown story of the world's first widely used smartphone hits the big screen in BlackBerry.
What do you call it?
It's called a BlackBerry.
Try typing with your thumbs.
Most people don't really know the story behind BlackBerry. It's one of the rare things that had such a cultural impact that people don't know the backstory.
Glenn Howerton says he was fascinated by the characters.
The complete dynamic difference between Mike and Jim. That was all the most interesting stuff about it to me.
We are in a race to get this thing to market, and we are a year behind. I need a prototype.
I'll do it perfectly, or I don't do it.
Mike, are you familiar with the saying, perfect is the enemy of good?
Well, good enough is the enemy of humanity.
Jay Baruchel says he was still using his BlackBerry when director and co-star Matt Johnson pitched him the film.
He was like, I want to make a movie about the BlackBerry guys. Do you think you'd want to be one of them? And I pulled a friggin' BlackBerry out of my pocket.
You guys have no idea how to run a company. I created this entire market.
Behind every sort of quantum leap, right, is a guy or a girl that you might not have heard of.
You said they were the best engineers in the world. I said they're the best engineers in Canada.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Ahead in the next hour, GMSA, a new warning about a scam and how thieves are stealing your money before they even get online. Plus, they lost their children almost 1 year ago in Uvalde, and now the parents of Robb Elementary shooting victims are still begging to be heard. The sights and sounds from last night's board meeting about online threats against schools. And up next, a shooting rampage in a small town in New Mexico. What police are saying about the gunman and a possible motive. And as we head to break, we've still got flashing lights and some flares. I-10 at I-35. Stephen Cavazos is aware of this incident. We're still trying to gather some more information as the morning goes on. We'll be back.